Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
I couldn't think of a joke yet.
You weren't going to do the Venom thing, even though I'm wearing the shirt?
Oh yeah, if you didn't like this movie, I will bite off your arms, and then I'll eat your legs, and then I'll eat your face, and you'll be a armless, legless, faceless freak rolling around in the streets like a turd in the wind.
Yeah. So we saw Spider-Man Far From Home.
And no, it didn't have Spider-Ham in it.
No.
No, but it did have the black monkey. Night monkey, whatever that. I'm sure that's a reference to something.
Yes.
We'll just have to Google it.
But it was also awesome!
Yeah. So, it basically, the movie starts with that famous song, and I am butchering this song. But yeah.
Download now on iTunes.
Or not. But
it started in, it started with the movie logo fading into some random statue out in the desert in Mexico.
Oh yeah. Right, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, basically...
The Columbia logo, the statue of the woman.
Yeah.
Fading into some weird-ass statue of just...
Yeah. Julie is mowing the lawn. Anyway...
A giant legion of spiders.
There's one literally right there.
I mean, in Spider-Man 2099, he's worthy of holding Mjolnir, so... And it starts with basically a fight between Mysterio and some giant...
Tornado. It's a ground thing.
Yeah, and also Nick Fury and Maria Hill show up right away.
Yeah.
And they're
Nick Fury and Maria Hill.
I thought that's what it
show up right away.
Yes.
Nick Fury, and we'll get to that.
Okay,
Anyway.
And because they're there, because people said, oh, there was a tornado with a face!
Yeah.
And then even
here's Twisty!
Even at that point, they're like, they're not. Maria Hill doesn't believe that.
Maria Hill.
Stop it. Stop it. But it shows up and Mysterio fights, and then we get a memoriam to every one of the Avengers who's died.
They put Captain America in there, even though he didn't really die. He just
retired.
Got old.
Yeah.
He got really old.
He retired, so he's out of action. So they decided to lump him in with the rest of them, with Scarlet Witch. And
Scarlet Witch is Vision.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, the Black Widow. Yes.
I screwed up my Scarlets.
Scarlet Spider.
No, they're never gonna do the Clone Saga. Although they could do it way better than the comics.
I mean, they did Captain America Civil War way better than the comic.
True.
So, who knows, maybe they could pull it off.
I mean, Sony's gonna try and pull off Carnage, so...
Oh yeah, Ronald McDonald Carnage.
Yeah, it was a put on by the Middletown High School, which is the most generic name possible.
It's New York. There are a lot of generic names in New York.
Midtown is actually probably a section of New York. It's just, it's just, I can't help but think of a middle school when I hear Midtown, not high school.
I can't help but think of that old game Midtown Madness, where you can drive around in Chicago and just ram into stuff.
Big rigs.
Over the road racing. You're always winner.
We're getting off trip.
We are.
They actually do a decent job of talking about what had happened after, because this is right after Endgame.
Yeah, apparently now in canon, the snap is called the blip.
They literally, it was hilarious. They showed a basketball game with half the people disappearing, and then cut to 5 years later, where they suddenly reappeared in the same spots, and like people that actually aged 5 years, like.
And you know what? I watched a video a while ago about what the ramifications of bringing everyone back 5 years later would be, and they very subtly addressed that in this movie.
Yeah.
People would have moved into homes that of the people who had blipped, and now these people are like, well, what's happening? What?
suddenly appeared in my home.
And now there are like people in half the people in Peter Parker's school
have aged 5 years.
Yeah.
And half of them haven't.
Yeah, but they and then they addressed that they had to start the school year over because all these people that.
Even though they were in midterms in Midtown and blah blah blah, mid.
Yeah.
But,
stuck in the middle.
I think one of the male reporters swore.
Yeah.
This shit crazy, and they censored it, and she's like, "No swearing."
And then I turned to you and said, "Did you just say language?"
Good old Captain America reference.
Yeah. Just slipped out.
I understood that reference.
Yes.
But then it cuts to Aunt May, and at the end of the Homecoming, she found out Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So now 5 years later, after he disappeared, they've set up a kind of relief charity thing for homeless people who were misplaced because of the blip, and they're at a fundraiser, charity event, whatever, where Spider-Man's just standing there and gives the most awkward speech possible.
Yeah, and it made me question, with all that tech, why doesn't his suit have a voice changer like Batman's does?
It should. You'd think it should. It probably does. He might not know how to use it. That's just my guess.
I mean, he could have it make his voice really deep.
But he's also talked to people before, so people kind of know what his voice sounds like.
Yeah, but they also know he has a lot of technology. They could just assume, oh, okay, he's using a voice changer now. All right.
But then Happy Hogan shows up, who throughout the movie had shown
who has grown a
blip beard.
A blip beard, yes. We're gonna call our beards that for a while, aren't we? Our blip beards.
They have an awkward kind of.
But of course, Blip
cute.
went the way of Thanos.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
You think with all that dust, it would have created a serious pollution problem.
Or, giving some people some allergies.
Yeah. But now we have the awkward romance between Happy Hogan and Aunt May, which confuses Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And is a subject throughout the rest of the movie.
What else is a subject throughout the rest of the movie, which is not played for laughs, is that Peter Parker is being expected to basically fill Iron Man's boots.
Fill his iron boots.
His iron suit.
Yes. And he's not really reacting well to it. He's kind of...
Because he's not Iron Man, he's Spider-Man.
Yeah. And he also has a bit of an emotional reaction to being told, oh yeah, because there's a reporter who was like, how do you feel about having to replace Iron Man? And he has a PTSD moment where he has to leave and clear his head.
Which was kind of reminiscent of in Iron Man 3 when a kid walked up to him and asked him about the portal in New York.
Yeah.
Except, I mean, for Peter Parker, it wasn't the full, he thought he was having a heart attack.
No,
he was just like,
sitting on a rooftop, as Linkari so oftenly pronounces it, rooftop.
And not in a donut. Please step out of the donut.
But this movie did a lot to try and parallel Tony's and Peter's journeys at this point.
Yeah.
Because everyone's still emotional over Iron Man's death. Not just Iron Man, but...
Well, yeah.
But considering he was the most famous one, not as many people are mourning Black Widow as Iron Man.
I mean, people would be sad about Captain America retiring, of course, but he didn't die.
No.
He probably still visits, for events and charities and stuff. He's just not fighting anymore.
Yeah, that's Sam's job now.
Yeah.
Sam Wilson.
Yeah. Which also brings the point. Why did they need Peter Parker to be Iron Man when they have Rhodey and Pepper?
Because he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be Iron Man's chosen successor. Like Peter, Tony specifically chose him So people see that and they gravitate towards that.
Yeah, but that's what this movie was kind of addressing.
Yeah.
He's not Iron Man. He's Spider-Man.
He has to do things his own way. He's still a teenager. He's still young. He's smart, and we'll get into that because the movie likes to get into it. But like, he doesn't know everything, or know what the right thing is to do all the time.
And they also addressed neither did Tony.
No, but he had a better facade in dealing with it because he was like a playboy philanthropist. He had that outward persona that made it look
charisma.
The charisma to look like he can handle it. And Peter doesn't really have that, unfortunately. He's still an awkward, geeky teenager.
But I think that's why Tony Stark chose him.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have that ego.
True.
Tony Stark's biggest Achilles heel was his own ego.
Yeah. That and alcohol.
Well, not in the comics, yes.
I know.
They didn't really go that far into that.
There was just the party scene in Iron Man 1 in this.
Well, Iron Man 2, actually. Well, Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. But the other reason he did it in Iron Man 2 is because he was, dying from the polonium.
But the first one where he was actually like, hey, I'm a superhero, I'm wearing my armor without my face mask on.
That was Iron Man 2.
Oh, right.
And he was throwing that party because he thought it was going to be his last birthday party.
Okay, and the mansion got attacked.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, it's because he and Rhodey started fighting.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Rhodey put on the silver, basically Mark II.
Yeah, which became War Machine.
Yeah. And eventually the Iron Patriots. But that was kind of stupid.
Yeah. But they addressed that and that it was stupid.
Because Tony Stark thinks it was stupid.
And even Rhodey himself said, yeah, it's stupid.
He actually got taken over
to try promotional stuff.
Try and kill the president.
Yeah. And he was trying to be a Captain America ripoff, and it's like, this isn't working.
But back to Spider-Man.
Yes.
So he has the moment, but Happy Hogan ends up coming to talk to him because Nick Fury wants him.
Nick Fury wants him.
Stop it. Stop it. He wants him because, according to him, there are no other superheroes left to help. At least currently, nobody can help. Although they didn't even mention Sam. All they mentioned was Thor and Captain Marvel.
And Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, Doctor Strange, who's busy.
Unavailable, is what they said.
We're not going to explain it, he's just unavailable.
Which I assume is probably going to be addressed in the next Doctor Strange movie.
Which I don't even know if they're filming yet, or because it's supposed to be next year. I don't know if they've started filming yet.
They would have started filming it if it's going to be next year. They filmed 3 years in advance.
I think it's been getting quite a few delays, Doctor Strange too.
But for the MCU, that's like... They've started filming, trust me.
So it's basically explained at this point. Well, first we had another battle with Mysterio and another one of the big bad things.
Yeah, one of the elementals, which they called them.
We called them later, but it was just a big thing made out of water with a face.
Yeah, in Venice.
Because the story is
Europe.
They're doing European travel because they're on vacation.
Yeah.
So they get into a fight, and Peter has to do his own thing without his costume because, well, first off, Aunt May threw a banana at him. trying to get his spider sense to react, or as she liked to call it, his Peter tingle.
Stop calling it that. It's weird.
Stop calling it tingle, May.
It's not a Peter tingle. Because you know what a Peter is, right?
Yes. Yes. What MJ wants. But that's later.
Yeah.
But yeah, she threw a banana at him, and he wasn't gonna pack his suit because he looked at the Iron Spider, and he looked at his regular suit in the closet. He doesn't. I don't know if he still has the suit he made himself. Like, we see it in the movie, but I don't know if he actually still has the physical material.
Probably. But he'd have literally no reason to use it.
Sitting under his Death Star, or not his Star. What?
TIE Fighter.
TIE Fighter, excuse me. Even
I have one of those.
Yes. even Nick Fury makes a joke later. He makes a reference, and he's like, "Oh, he told me you wouldn't get that unless it was a Star Wars reference." Like Tony told me you wouldn't get that unless it was a Star Wars reference.
Anyway, we'll get
Peter's obsessed with Star Wars.
No, not that. We'll get to everything about Nick Fury. We'll get to.
Yeah. So he left his suit. The whole point I was getting to was he left his suit in his hotel room, so he can't go back and change without like.
Well, the thing is, he originally intended to not even bring his suit to Europe, but Aunt May put it in there, and then there's
that's awesome at the
airport security. They need to look inside his bag, and they see the suit with the note, and then it's a fake out because then
she picks up the banana and it's like no fruit.
Yeah. Because that is true. You're not allowed to bring fruits or vegetables to other countries.
Yeah. But so he doesn't have time, or at least he thinks he doesn't have enough time to go back in his suit because he just starts. I like that he had his own style of what Iron Man did in Civil War with the hand glove blocking the bullet, but he did it with his web shooter. So he had like invisible web shooters he could just activate by clapping his wrist.
It's like watches, right?
Yeah. He just he basically knocked his wrist together to activate his web shooters so he could try and save the buildings from collapse. Yeah. And he did the best he could without his power, he has his powers, but he doesn't have a suit.
I mean, the suit is just like it was addressed in the first Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man isn't the suit.
Yeah, because he said
the suit is just adds on extra features
to help him. Basically.
Yeah, but he doesn't need it to be Spider-Man.
He's like, well, I'm nothing without this suit.
Then you shouldn't have it.
Yeah. It's so many Iron Man things up. The whole movie does that.
It's basically because it's fresh off the heels of Endgame. By the way, spoilers if you haven't seen Endgame. Why the hell would you have not seen Endgame?
Considering it just got re-released in theaters with extra stuff at the end of it.
It did?
Just like no actual scenes. Just like I forget what it was. It wasn't like an actual deleted scene or anything. They just re-released it with a couple more minutes of something I forget. Just because they didn't have the record. At least that's what people think. Just because they didn't have the record yet.
Well, I mean, it's yes. Let's beat out that freaking stupid Blue People movie. Please, let's do that. I'm all okay with that. And for Endgame to be the movie to do that, yes, it deserves it. Anyway,
so the whole time he's been ghosting Nick Fury, just rejecting his phone calls. But at this point, he actually has to go see Nick Fury.
No,
Nick Fury comes to him and
Trank's
Ned.
Ned, yes.
the fat Asian guy from the
not Asian. He's Filipino, I think.
That is technically Asian.
I don't think it is.
It's considered. It is.
I don't know. I just don't want to inadvertently offend any of my Filipino viewers by
saying the word wrong.
Let's move on. Moving on.
So he forces him to come with him, and that's where we get Mysterio revealing himself.
Revealing himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because honestly,
I mean, it's not really much of a secret.
Everyone knows he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
If you've watched anything related to Spider-Man ever, you know Mysterio's a bad guy.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, okay, what's he doing this time?
Yeah, it's basically like Loki in a sense. Like, so what's his mysterious evil scheme this time? What's he gonna pull out of his pants this?
He does a good job convincing Peter that he's a good guy, and convincing Nick Fury that he's a good guy. So like he has I think Jake Gyllenhaal did a good job
Jake Gyllenhaal is a multi-Oscar winner actor. Of course, he did a good job.
I don't know. It's the best Mysterio, in my opinion, you could ask for.
It is also the MCU.
Yes. Thankfully.
After the point where they finally started doing villains right. I mean, they in the Spider-Man: Homecoming. Look how
Vulture was such a good.
Also, because they got
such a relatable villain.
They got freaking Batman to play him.
Mm-hmm. So basically, he explains that he's come from a different Earth. In Earth 80 whatever number they actually use. And that they say that the current universe is 616.
I thought it was 606.
No, it is 616. It's the Marvel continuity is 616. So they're established that this is Earth 616. And that the elementals came from his Earth, destroyed his Earth, and killed his family as Peter looks at a ring.
Yes.
It's just the camera cuts to his ring of his family that got killed. So basically, he's destroyed 3 of the 4 elementals, and the plan is the 4th one is going to attack in Prague.
Yeah.
And they have to go to Prague to destroy it. And
yeah.
Peter doesn't want to go because he's on his vacation and stuff, and he doesn't want to get in trouble and reveal himself. And Nick Fury's like,
okay, go home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Screw you, you're going to Prague now.
No, because he got one of his assistants to pay the tour free tickets to Prague.
Yes. And also there was a really warming scene where Mysterio... Oh, was that after the bar scene, or was it at this point was the bar scene? No, it was after the fire monster. Never mind.
Yeah. Big battle with the lava monster.
Yeah. So it's just... It's like, this is Dimitri, and this is Maria Hill, and...
I just love how Dimitri looks
like a villain, like a villain henchman.
Yeah, he just looks like he looks like someone. He looks like someone who was left over from Hydra, who just decided to, be a good guy now, but he couldn't get rid of that evil face. And he really did look like remember like how Crossbones from Hydra kind of had that look to him. This guy did too.
And he was loading a gun as Peter's walking in.
He really I was half expecting him at some point to say "Hail Hydra,"
but no, he's just a silent kind of bodyguard type.
For now, we'll see if they hint at him being a Hydra leftover at some point.
So now we get to go to Prague
or something else.
Yeah, because
something else. We'll get to that.
Because they started in Italy with it went from Mexico.
Venice, yeah.
Mexico was the first scene, to the United States for Peter's stuff, to Italy for the first stop of their vacation.
Yes, Venice. Oh,
Venice
they also
Italy.
Yeah, I know, but they addressed their hotel, the floor was flooded. That's actually that's actually happening. There's not anything in the movie. That's actually happening in Venice. You know why? Climate change.
This movie is literally fighting climate change.
Yes and no. We'll get to that.
But and we also have a little subtext where they were on the plane, and Peter wants to sit with MJ, but MJ is sitting with Brad, who's one of the people who I guess blipped and reappeared older.
No. He's one of the people who didn't blip. Therefore, he aged.
Right.
And the rest of them didn't, because they blipped.
Oh yeah, Peter blipped. Oh yeah.
They started talking about like back when we used to know him, he was just a snivelly little whiny kid, but now he's this hunk of a badass looking guy. And literally every girl wants him.
Ned's like, yeah. Ned says that, and Peter's like, no, they're not. Like, yes, they are. So the whole, he's one of the sort of antagonists for Peter in the movie because he kind of does things to try and mess with Peter.
I mean, not the way Flash Thompson does. He's in this movie too, and he didn't blip either, so he's an adult now. But he is literally not changed aside from growing a beard.
Because he's in the plane drinking wine.
He grew a blip beard.
Yeah, he's drinking wine, and another girl is like,
MJ. MJ.
No, it was the white girl. Oh no, it was MJ.
Yeah.
Who said he's still 16.
He's still saying
And they took the wine away.
Yeah.
No, my wine!
So Flash Thompson is still a jerk, but the other guy, the Brad, he's not a jerk. He's just
romantic rivalry with Peter. Over MJ.
But he's not an ass. They deliberately set it up that he's not really a jerk, per se.
He's being a little bit of a jerk to Peter. Like a little bit of a plot convenience stuff.
Yeah, but not in a Flash Thompson way where he's just a rich asshole.
He literally gives Peter the middle finger.
Yeah, but that's a little bit of rivalry. But the thing is, he's not a jerkwad like Flash Thompson is. He's just not privy to the situation and is misinterpreting things.
Yeah. Oh, so in the plane, Peter has this whole plan to take MJ, buy her favorite flower based off something.
I can't remember.
Whatever.
Yeah, I can't.
Based off some murder.
Yeah, I can't.
And take her to the Eiffel Tower and then kiss her. So he has all this plan. So they set this up.
It's all part of the plan.
This is the romantic thing between him and MJ throughout the movie, is him trying to get it. And they end up on the plane. Doing something on the plane where Ned says Peter is allergic to perfume, so they can try and get him to sit with
and
MJ.
Then the super paranoid teacher
instead
rearranges everyone.
So Ned sits with another girl, and they end up bonding and getting into a relationship. The whole movie is mostly the subplot for Ned is just a relationship with her.
Yeah, that just came out of nowhere.
And I immediately, as soon as they came out of nowhere, I'm like, they're gonna break off by the end of the vacation. Like, I could tell they were gonna break up at the end of the vacation.
Yeah.
Summer flings and all that.
Yes. Something I will never understand. But anyway.
I'm trying to. That's established a subplot. So now they have to go to Prague. And I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, that's where the final boss battle is going to take place. So Peter has to get everyone inside to safety so that to get them into the opera.
On the way there, or in Prague, he's given a new suit by one of Nick Fury's lackeys, which is a stealth suit. And in the process, he has to take off his clothes. And we have awkward. There are generally parts of this that are funny, like the comedy in it generally worked. Like it was a small thing where we were all laughing at things. Like he's taking off his pants, and who walks in but Brad?
Yes,
and he turns around. He's like, click, takes a photo of him. He's like, I'm gonna go tell MJ. If you want to hook up with some random European woman, that's fine, but I'm going to go tell MJ.
Because she deserves the truth. Because, that's the thing. He's not Flash Thompson. He's not a jerkwad. He thinks he's doing the right thing. He's just not aware of the situation,
and the fact that Peter was just putting on a new suit because she told him to take off your... we kept making certain references. Your guns and your clothes.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
So that's kind of because Peter was earlier said I can't be seen as Spider-Man in my because he only brought the he didn't bring the Iron Spider, he only brought the red and blue suit.
I mean, people know that the Iron Spider is Spider-Man too.
Yes, but he didn't bring it for whatever reason.
Well, because he didn't want to bring any of the suits, but remember I said his aunt put the regular Spider-Man suit in his suitcase.
Why didn't she give him the Iron Spider? Maybe she didn't know how it worked, I don't know.
Maybe she figured it wouldn't fit, or that it would be a lot, airport security would there's something metal in here.
There's some weird AI in here.
I mean, at least just the Spider-Man suit, you could pass it off as just a costume.
Yeah.
Not so much the Iron Spider one.
But oh yeah, he puts on the stealth suit to fight.
We need to bring up the glasses.
Oh yes,
that is the most important.
Nick
plot
Fury
point.
gave him a pair of glasses that Tony Stark told him to give to Peter, and that in them is
Edith or something.
It's,
which is another one of his AIs, like Friday.
Something. It was an acronym for I'm always the hero, or there's always a hero.
Yeah, something like that. But
it's something very arrogant, something very classically Tony Stark.
And even the AI said yes, he did like his acronyms. The AI itself, who is an acronym, referenced yes, he did like his acronyms. So he even built his AI with snark.
Yeah. So now Peter's trying to delete the photo from because he realizes he puts on the glasses and tries to delete the picture from Brad's phone,
but accidentally sets a drone out on to kill him. No, that's not what I meant.
Which he has to stop
because Tony Stark keeps giving Peter Parker kill technology that he doesn't want.
He's like, don't activate kill mode.
No, deactivate kill. The only time he actually did use that was when he was fighting Thanos' army, which was awesome.
Yes. So the glasses play a role because we have to talk about it later. But now it
is the role.
Yes, because it has a satellite defense grid.
It has access to all Stark tech, all of it. Tony Stark's entire industry is controlled through that.
It comes to bite Peter in the ass a couple times.
The first time, that little accident.
Yeah. And then
really, why did Tony Stark give Peter Parker access to killer drones when he already knows he has a no-kill rule?
I don't know. I mean, I keep going back to 2099, but even in 2099, the Peter Parker of that universe is basically Tony Stark. Like, the leader of Peter Parker Industries. Yeah. He creates a new suit for the Spider-Man of that year.
Yeah.
So it's he eventually does basically become a Tony Stark in a comic series.
Mm-hmm.
Even created a spider-themed car.
Spider-Man.
But so we have to get to the fight. So no one, even Ned knows. No one's allowed to know that Spider-Man.
So what's your superpower? I'm rich.
So as Peter and Mysterio,
I don't have a CG mustache.
Peter and Mysterio, they earlier came up with a battle plan with Nick Fury, which is okay scene, but we don't really need to discuss it further. I think I'm trying to think of anything else that happened in that. Mysterio shows himself to be willing to talk to Peter as somebody else who's a superhero.
Yeah, and on a rooftop and says, you don't have to be, you don't have to do whatever Nick Fury wants you to do. You can just be you. What do you want to do?
That's kind of the theme of the movie is what Peter wants him, and Peter doesn't really know because he's still young and he hasn't.
Well, obviously
he got this thrust upon him, and he's just kind of just riding the wind of going with it. He hasn't really made a decision on his own.
Well, I mean, obviously, what we know, the conclusion at the end is he's not Iron Man, he's Spider-Man.
Yes, but the movie is trying to play Mysterio as this kind of figure for Peter to talk to because they're both superheroes, and Mysterio's dealt with this stuff before, dealt with loss and all that.
He said that his homeworld was destroyed by the elementals and all that,
and that Peter opens up his heart to him about losing Tony and feeling like everyone wants him to be Tony and he doesn't know how he feels about that, and creating good emotion for Peter as a character.
Yeah.
But no, we have to get to the fight scene. And hilariously, they tried to get all his friends out of harm's way by putting them in an opera. a 4-hour opera. That even Flash is like, no, none of us have ever wanted to go to an opera.
I mean, they all wanted to go to the big party outside instead.
The light show or whatever.
Yeah.
The light festival.
Honestly, though, if I were given the choice between the two, I'd take the opera. Because I've been to like music events before, like Beethoven impersonator kind of thing, and I actually kind of enjoyed it. So I might actually enjoy an opera.
But they're stereotypical movie teenagers. They don't want to go to an opera.
Kids, yeah.
Kids these days.
Uncultured swine.
But Ned and his girlfriend.
But of course, if Spider-Man was in that opera, he might get scared halfway through and have to go out the back, and then.
You're referencing the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm referencing Batman's origin.
Oh, okay. But also, wasn't MJ in the Sam Raimi trilogy an opera? And she was an actress. Never mind.
Yeah.
It was a stage play.
Yeah.
Opera, different thing.
No, I was referring to young Bruce Wayne.
So what? Aunt May would get shot? Well,
Uncle Ben doesn't seem to be in the MCU.
Kevin Feige said Feige said it's on the table. It's on the table. Okay, he said everything's on the table.
Yeah, but it hasn't been referenced yet. Just because it's on the table doesn't mean they'll use it.
No. But even though I just suddenly referenced One More Day with Aunt May getting shot.
No, but it was Uncle Ben getting shot that was Spider-Man's origin story.
Yes, but also when I said Aunt May would get shot, because I'm trying to put Batman's backstory on Peter Parker, and Aunt May would get shot, and then that's basically just One More Day. Aunt May getting shot and Peter trying to save her.
Well, Gwen Stacy isn't in the MCU yet.
No. So if you were doing you said you were doing Batman's backstory, I'm like, who would they have to shoot to fulfill that backstory? And the only person I can think of is Aunt May, which is One More Day. But never mind.
Or if they had Gwen Stacy, it would be that, or Uncle Ben, it would be his actual.
And Kyle Hill said Gwen Stacy could survive that.
Yeah, but he also addressed that it is possible that she could have not survived it, just because if her neck's bent in a certain way, that can happen.
Yeah.
So she had basically a 50-50 chance of surviving that, because even in a survivable fall, things can still go wrong.
Yeah. And
that's what implied to have happened. That he did everything right, but it still went wrong just because of bad luck.
Back to the movie.
Yes.
Now Peter and Mysterio go have a drink at the bar.
Yeah, because they beat the lava monster thing.
Yeah. And Peter's drinking lemonade.
Yeah.
While Mysterio's having a beer.
Yeah. Well, because Peter said, I'm not 21. I'm thinking, this is Europe. I'm pretty sure the drinking age is, something like 17 or 18.
Well, he is 16. So.
Yeah. But he's also Spider-Man.
The bar people aren't supposed to know that.
No, but I mean,
even though it turns out they do, because spoiler alert, it's all an image. The whole bar scene is fake, it's a fake. Just so Mysterio could get Edith from Peter, because he convinced Peter that you don't need to do it. You can go, because Peter lets out his heart again to Mysterio. Mysterio's like, what do you want? What do you right now want? He's like, I want to go up to the Eiffel Tower and tell MJ that I like her and kiss her. And Mysterio's like, I give you a 50-50 shots. You're pretty weird.
You're pretty awkward.
Yeah. So Mysterio ends up with control of Edith. At that point he reveals the bar was a hologram and he is evil. Sort of.
Yeah. Basically, much like how I'm just gonna briefly go over a bunch of other MCU villains, because it addresses some of them.
Yeah.
Obadiah Stane was jealous of Tony Stark inheriting the company instead of him.
And he had a scientist who ended up working with Mysterio because of that.
And they showed that clip.
Yes.
They even showed the meme. Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
And it turns out Mysterio actually built the
hologram
tech that Tony Stark took and made for his treatment thing. Which movie was it where he showed
Civil War? Yes.
Yeah, where he's talking to a hologram of his dad, or he's showing a hologram. Like, yeah, it turns out Quentin Beck made that, and also didn't have a beard at that time.
Yeah, and that Tony Stark took the credit for it, renamed it Barf, and then fired him.
Because Tony loves acronyms.
Yeah.
He's like, he named it Barf?
And it showed a bunch of other, I can't remember all the ones, but other moments from the MCU where other former employees of Stark Industries, had their, work ruined or whatever by Tony Stark in some way.
Fired.
Yeah.
So now now Mysterio's plan is to become the only superhero.
So, basically,
but by killing
Syndrome from the first Incredibles.
But also by killing as many people as he thinks he needs to.
So, Syndrome from the first Incredibles. He's literally Syndrome from the first Incredibles. That was his plan.
Yeah.
And he did it the exact same way. But,
did Syndrome use holograms?
No, but he'd used a giant robot. Close enough.
Yeah, because now Mysterio wants to use because he's been using the drones created by the guy who worked with Obadiah Stane to simulate all these elementals, because nothing was real. Like, admittedly, the effects make it look pretty real. Like, it kind of looked like it was actually there, and they were actually destroying.
A metaphor for modern special effects.
Yeah.
Visual effects.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
But now he's going to kill Nick Fury, create a disaster so big, like Avengers level big, and then he's going to be the one who saves everyone, so he can get all the praise.
Again, he's just Syndrome from The Incredibles.
And if he needs to, kill Peter Parker.
So a little bit of Adrian Toomes was his name? Something Toomes. The Vulture from the first
yeah.
Him. The Batman.
Yeah. So at this point, we have to talk about during the battle, one of the drones loses its projector, it gets flung out, and it lands right near where MJ is hiding from the battle.
And, it flung out because Spider-Man got webbed it.
Oh yeah. So
that's how she finally
put two and two together.
Well, I mean, she claimed that she'd figured it out a long time ago, but only about 67% sure.
She was just making it up as she went to see if he was.
Well, she suspected. She strongly suspected, so she called him out on it.
So she used her words to manipulate him to figure out if he actually was, even though Peter kept denying it. I didn't know.
And then she brings out that device.
And
that
her line was, he kept trying to say, it was Night Monkey, because Ned called him Night Monkey to try and hide his identity as Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's just sort of a discount, European version of Spider-Man.
It's funny to me, considering I wrote a knockoff Spider-Man a long time ago.
SWAT man.
I don't even know if I gave him a name.
He had fly swatters for hands.
It's still up on DeviantArt.
If you want to check it out.
The terrible picture and the terrible story. I'm not going to delete that. But because Ned and his girlfriend were trapped on a Ferris wheel at the light show, because they left because...
Speaking of tropes...
Because Peter left, which is a common Peter Parker trope of ditching MJ.
Not just that, but people trapped on a Ferris wheel during a superhero battle.
Yes.
I mean, Shazam did that. I think other Spider-Man movies did that. Yeah. Oh, I guess it could be considered like sort of an apology for not having the final fight scene in Spider-Man: Homecoming be in that amusement park, and instead just on the beach. So because people got disappointed by that. Look, you could have had Spider-Man right in the... Well, now they did.
Yeah. So Peter keeps denying it. She shows him the web, and I loved her line. She's like, does Night Monkey use the same webs as Spider-Man? He's like,
well, he
possibly.
Might be
a Spider Monkey.
Yeah.
Which is an actual monkey, a spider monkey. Which is so funny. Oh, and there's also a scene, I'm now reminding this, when he first met Mysterio, where they're talking about science, and he just immediately went into science mode.
Yeah.
Cause that was just like Peter.
And all the other S.H.I.E.L.D. agents are looking at him, and he's like, sorry. But then Mysterio's
that's
like...
the best line. It's like, don't apologize for being the smartest one in the room.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're insulting everyone in this room. Like,
except for Peter Parker, obviously.
Because that's part of his character. Is I'm a science major!
Of course, don't know anything about science? Science.
Science. Oh no, it's Linksano!
I'd be Asano.
Where's your clone? Although it turned out to be Mechakara. But, yeah. So then so Peter keeps denying it until they realize what's actually going on, and they accidentally trigger the projector. Realize Mysterio's a fake. So he's like,
it's a fake?
So he's like, yes, I'm Spider-Man, come with me. Okay. He's just,
yes.
He's like, yes, I'm Spider-Man, come on.
Really? I was only like 67% sure. Are you serious right now?
Yes, I'm serious. It was like, so they had to go back, and then Ned just walks in, of course. It's like, oh, he was like he immediately tries to create a lie for Peter on where he was, and now Peter's like, oh, because Peter's putting on the suit. He put on the suit. It's funny enough that the glasses kind of like flip up.
Yeah.
Like, that's a weird bit of design. But
yeah.
Because he has those up constantly. And
it looks less like a Spider-Man suit and more like something a SWAT military Black Ops agent would wear.
Maybe that's kind of the point.
Yeah. Well, it was made by S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. But Ned, and Peter's like, Ned, she knows. He's like, oh, well, okay. And then he just starts going in on
and then, like, she's like, I knew for a while. And then later on, Ned's like, well, I kind of figured it out first. Not to compare or brag or anything, but I figured it out first.
He's like, as you're an FOS. What? Friend of Spider-Man. Yeah, so Peter has to go to Nick Fury and tell him when we get, I think, one of the best scenes is the whole scenario with the illusions.
Yeah, basically, he gets picked up by
Nick
in his black car, and then driven to this
supposedly safe location.
You know, like supposedly a S.H.I.E.L.D. Base
where Murray Hill's there, and as Peter blabs out that Mysterio's a fake and all that, Mysterio reveals it was a hologram. Even though in the moment Nick Fury doesn't look like a hologram, he is a hologram.
Yeah.
And that Mysterio basically puts Peter through a hell of a... It looked really good.
Yeah.
Like, everything, like the way it moved around ridiculously.
Yeah.
This random stuff happening. Like him looking at a mirror. Like his suit suddenly changing from...
Well, basically, remember in Doctor Strange, the scene when the Ancient One shows like Strange the proof that of the whatever the mystic arts and stuff.
It's kind of like that, but with less drugs.
Yeah.
Because it's not moving around like it's on drugs.
Yeah, it's more just like a nightmare.
It isn't. All this stuff Peter's seeing...
More like a nightmare sequence.
Yeah, that's kind of, I think, Mysterio's idea of illusions.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculously good. Like, he's touching a mirror, looking at himself, and suddenly all these Spider-Man come out and claw up his outfit, and he's wearing the homemade outfit. The whole time Mysterio's voice is booming, echoing around him like, "You're just a kid in a suit." In a sweatsuit.
And then he did probably the diggest thing he could probably do, which is also a nod to the comics. Marvel Zombies.
Yes, he compares him to Iron Man, and then
he shows
like, if you were good enough, maybe he wouldn't be dead. And an Iron Man zombie rises out of a grave
with spiders crawling all over his face.
And it's like half of his body's covered in armor, the other half is dead flesh.
Because Marvel Zombies.
Yes.
That's probably the closest the MCU is gonna give us to Marvel Zombies, and that's probably for the best.
Mysterio's gone full on villain, like messing with, like, it looks so good. Like this,
yeah.
It's scary, and then he shows up as Nick Fury to try and be like, "Oh, it's all right." Boom. It's just like a hologram of Nick Fury shoots Nick Fury. It's all this stuff. It's like, it's way too much. You have to go see it. It's way too much stuff to. It's still at the same kind of fast-paced motion as Doctor Strange's thing, but instead of like all this weird, trippy, messed up, like it looked like in that scene, it looked like Doctor Strange was in a drug-induced hallucination. This is the same, but not to that extent.
Yeah.
Like, he's showing him everything related to him. Like, it's crazy. And then he ends up hit by a train.
Yeah.
Because he tormented him so much that he backed up all the way and got hit by a train.
Yeah. Because, like, the illusions made him not see that the train was there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing.
And not feel his Peter tingle.
Yeah. And that's another plot point in this movie. Kind of like how in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2, Peter Parker lost his powers for a while because he lost faith in himself. Well, they didn't full-on do that in this one, but they kind of implied that his Spidey sense was not working properly because he didn't have confidence in himself.
Or he at least thought it was working, but...
Well, it was implied that, you know, due to his lack of self-confidence, it was not working very well.
Yeah.
It was clouded because I think his emotions were clouding it.
Yeah.
He needed to, you know, like a Jedi, focus.
I was going to say, don't let emotions cloud your judgment.
Yes, there is no spoon.
But he ends up... He doesn't die from the train.
No, he just clings onto it.
Although you think you would... A normal person would probably die.
Yeah, but he's not a normal person. He, like later when he... Like, he's clearly hurt, injured.
Because he doesn't have a healing factor.
He's super strong, though. Like, actually stronger than Captain America.
Oh, yeah, he also... I don't know if it was later.
Yeah, it's right after the same...
Is it after this that he punched Flash Thompson in the face and knocked him out?
Yeah, that was earlier, yeah.
Yeah, it was another... This movie did a lot of good things to subtly show how strong Peter is. Like, he didn't even mean to... Cause
I'm strong and really sticky!
Yes! I'm really strong and really sticky! But he accidentally punched Flash because Flash had Edith, had the glasses on the bus. And he's trying to grab them back and knocked out Flash Thompson.
Yeah. And I was like, did you just punch Flash Thompson?
No.
He didn't. He just sort of like went like that, but it was so as strong as a punch
to knock him out.
Yeah.
But and then, he wakes up after the train. He wakes up in a
prison cell.
Well, they didn't call it prison.
Well, it was a jail cell.
Yes, but they gave it a nicer name, like he was sitting there with a bunch of soccer fans.
Yeah, who were probably in there for, you know,
partying too hard.
You know, like public intoxication and indecent exposure, stuff like that.
And they gave him a shirt because the guard has his stealth suit. But this is another one I loved of the subtle moments. So Peter just walks up to the door, destroys the lock.
Basically, it just goes like, Purr.
He just crushes it.
He doesn't crush it. He doesn't crush it. He just sort of like plink.
and then put it off.
It's a padlock, right?
Yeah.
So it has the loop and the mechanism. He just goes like, perk, boop.
And the guards are like,
and then there's.
oh, because we also had a little bit of dialogue where they're talking. It's like, oh, you're in the Netherlands. The train went so far that he's now in the Netherlands.
Yeah. Well, it's Europe, remember, where you can literally take a train to any country in Europe within just a few hours.
Yeah, except for London.
There are bridges.
Yes.
So
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down.
they go to London
and it's not called the London Bridge; it's called the Tower Bridge. But even Hogan Happy brings that up. But no, he wakes up and he has to leave. The three guys were talking. Like, oh yeah, the guard's probably talking to his wife because she's pregnant. The other guy's like, oh really? Like they're having a little bit of banter back and forth as he leaves because the guard's wearing his helmet, his mask.
Yeah.
He's not looking at him. Peter just leaves and now the guard looks up. He's like, "Are you guys all right?" And they're like,
But yeah, and then he
calls
he has to borrow someone's cell phone and
calls Happy.
And he's just like, yeah, sure. And I was like, wow, everyone in the Netherlands is so nice. And I'm just thinking like, Canada. I hope the next Spider-Man movie he goes to Canada.
Deadpool team up?
There is a lot of implications. People are speculating that is how Deadpool is going to be introduced. And Wolverine.
Yeah, they've teamed up before in the comics. They had a pretty good bromance for a while.
Well...
Because obviously Deadpool was attracted to Spider-Man.
Deadpool is like 15 years older than him, at least.
But even in the comics, he's grown up. Peter Parker's grown up.
Not in the MCU, he's not. He got blipped. Anyway,
I think it's just a one-way bromance where just Deadpool is attracted to him, but Peter...
Yeah, it is. And
like,
Deadpool is naturally kind of...
omnisexual.
And pansexual and kind of creepy with his sexuality. He's not subtle about that. He knows he's a perv.
He calls Happy Hogan, who flies in on a Quinjet.
Well, it wasn't a Quinjet. It was actually Tony Stark's original jet. It might have even been the one from the first Iron Man movie. It looked like that one. It was his personal jet. It wasn't a Quinjet. Okay. It was just Tony Stark's personal jet.
And Peter just opens up and starts crying. His eyes go red because it looks like he's been crying.
Well, I mean, no, it's more that his eyes were red because the snot was beaten out of him. And it starts with like Hogan is like stitching up his wound in his back. He's like, "Ow! Like I thought you had super strength." Yeah, but it still hurts.
Because why would super strength prevent it from hurting?
I mean, Happy Hogan has met other people with super strength, like Captain America.
Super soldier serum. That's the difference. Peter doesn't matter.
Captain America still gets hurt too.
Yes. So I don't know why Hogan would assume super strength equals not feeling pain.
He's not Francis.
Oh yeah.
Where's Francis?
So he basically has a heart-to-heart with Happy about a really good character moment. Like as much as you could complain about...
This is where they address the motif of the movie. All of the movie, like everyone's been saying, you got to be the next Iron Man, and Hogan's like, you're not Iron Man.
You never will be.
He wasn't. Sometimes he wasn't.
Yeah.
He couldn't. You can't. Nobody can live up to Iron Man.
He couldn't live up.
Tony Stark couldn't live up to Iron Man. He was always second guessing himself. And he made a lot more mistakes than you.
The one time he didn't second guess himself was when he picked you.
I would also argue he should have mentioned Pepper, but, you know. But that wasn't relevant to the scene.
Yeah. And plus, even in Endgame, Rhodey was flying everywhere trying to... Like, I think he was hunting down Hawkeye? Or, like, he was reporting on what Hawkeye was doing in Endgame? Like, after the snap?
Yeah. Well, Yeah, but basically, yeah,
So
I'm thinking...
Rhodey can easily be busy doing other stuff.
Yeah, if you need a successor for Iron Man, there are a lot of other options. We have Rhodey, who's already has a lot of experience with the suit. He's already has his own Iron Man suit.
And
You even have Pepper Potts, who now has the rescue armor that we got to see in Endgame. There's even that kid that when we saw Endgame, who the hell is that teenager? And we when we looked it up later, oh yeah, it was that kid from Iron Man 3. Now he's grown up.
Just like how Peter was the little kid in the Iron Man mask in that movie.
In Iron Man 2.
Yeah. So, somehow grew up into Peter Parker.
Yeah.
No, and then I love it. The next scene is Peter sciencing himself a new suit, exactly like how Tony would do.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is still implied that there's a reason that Tony Stark picked him as a successor, not to be Iron Man, but to be Spider-Man.
But to be his own man. I am a man! He's gonna hit you in the face.
But,
that was awesome. He starts manipulating the screen and starts speaking in technobabble.
multi-mobile reflection sorting.
There's an ionic storm outside.
Reverse the polarity of the neutron flow. But yeah,
so Mysterio puts into his plan, starts just putting his plan into motion.
Yeah, where now that he has all access to all the drones, he can create the biggest hologram monster ever, and he creates one that's like a merging of the four elements, and then the pathetic kind of nerdy teacher says like they've merged together like Power Rangers or something, but then the other teacher says like no, more like Voltron.
And the black guy's like, what? Like Voltron?
That's Voltron. And you were just like,
Yeah.
They went there.
They were. Yeah. Can we get another Power Ranger movie sometime, please? Please, Hasbro. Whatever. And that the whole time, Peter's suit is slowly being built.
It's morphin' time.
I'm trying to remember exactly how things panned out, and the rest of it's kind of just a giant fight scene.
Yeah, because Peter has to Spider-Man has to go inside the hologram monster and destroy all the drones from within.
And now they're in London.
Yeah, well, yes.
And he through the first illusion, he found out that Peter told MJ and Ned and Ned's girlfriend, so now he wants to kill them. So
to keep the secret.
So he specifically created a scenario to put them in harm's way, put them on a tour bus, and the driver being one of the guys who works for him. So the driver gets off the bus, so they're in the path of the storm. Yeah. And it was an earlier scene, he told the guy who worked Obadiah Stane to increase the damage level, because apparently they just have a setting like that.
Yeah, old comic book movie.
Yes. To make it more potentially lethal to them. So they're stuck there until Happy Hogan can try and save them. Yeah. And I know they had to call Nick Fury.
Yes.
To tell him, basically gave him a coded message, everything is as it seems. Yeah. To tell him, oh, he's in danger. Yeah. Then Mysterio can't be trusted. Yeah. Even though I'm assuming at this point Nick Fury already knew that.
He didn't. Not until the message.
Yeah, because it was a hologram that was... Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll get to Nick Fury and Nick Fury.
But basically the rest of it is... because they showed even the suits. The suit he's been wearing is fake.
Mysterio. Fake?
It just raises too many questions.
It's a trap!
It's a meme!
Not the memes! Spiderman. How do I shoot web? Did somebody say Spider-Man meme?
A real spider shoots it out of its thorax. But We're gonna ignore that. Ignore that. The comics choose to ignore that.
Mothra shot web out of her thorax. Rest in peace, Mothra. She'll be back.
So it's basically just Spider-Man fighting drones controlled by Mysterio in a kind of, almost like a suit you would wear if you were doing stunts to be.
Yeah, a mocap suit.
Yeah, it's almost, he's basically wearing a mocap suit.
It kind of makes me wonder if that's the actual thing they had him wear in the studio as the mocap suit. That would be incredibly entertaining,
that would
amusing if that was the actual mocap suit.
It's basically because he's not doing anything. It's just the image of him fighting around like an illusion. So when he has to wear the suit to look like a good guy,
it's just a costume.
Yeah.
Like they're ironing it out and making it look all pretty.
He's like, you have to iron it out. I might meet the Queen. I might be shaking the Queen's hand. But Spider-Man is able to get around because it's built the new suit with a webbing as kind of a glider.
Yeah.
And he gets around. He's destroying all the drones. And freaking Mysterio had already set a drone out for Nick Fury and Mrs. Hill or whatever her name
Maria Hill.
Michelle, whatever.
Maria Hill. And so
Kaya Hill.
Yeah, now that Hank Hill.
Hank Pym.
Anyway, but now that they're aware of it, Maria Hill goes up onto the roof with a bazooka to take out the one drone that was designed to take out Nick Fury.
Why would you only have one drone? Like, are you really that confident you think it will take only one drone to kill Nick Fury?
It was cloaked.
Yes.
And he had all the other drones preoccupied creating the fake monster.
Yeah.
And trying to kill Spider-Man.
And Nick's like, status report, and he goes to the guy who was the bus driver, like, give me something to say! As the guy's looking through a book of probably action, superhero movie cliches.
Yeah. It's like...
Or he's probably just reading the script.
Yeah. Well, he's not Deadpool.
No. But Spider-Man ends up getting through it to punch Mysterio in the face and break his fishbowl, which has been his disguise throughout the movies. Mysterio's disguise is a fishbowl with clouds to cover his face.
Well, in the comics, yeah, that's what... But
well, in this too.
Yeah, well, it's referencing the comics, obviously.
Yes.
But,
that turned out to be an illusion as well.
Yeah, so many illusions. It's like I'm never not going to fall for that.
An illusion inside of an illusion inside of an illusion. It's Inception of illusions.
Bwom, bwom,
that Loki clip is too good. It's like too easy to reference. Well, Spider-Man does actually stop falling.
I'm not going to fall for that.
I could swear that fit so well I would have thought they actually used that in the movie.
I was almost. Before going into this movie, I watched a fan video that said that Mysterio might actually be Loki. I was disappointed that they didn't actually go that route. But, we'll still get to see Loki later. I mean, obviously, he's gonna get his TV show. There's gonna be the Asgardians of the Galaxy. I'm almost certain Loki's gonna be in that.
So then Mysterio puts Peter through another illusion in the hallway to try and kill him because
it's on a bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on an overpass bridge.
To try and hide his drones that are going to shoot him.
Yeah, but now Spider-Man has his Peter tingle.
Yeah.
Come on, Peter tingle.
He closes his eyes and just goes to town on them. With the accompanying sound effects.
Yeah. I'm a Spider-Man!
And ends up getting to Mysterio and supposedly punching him again.
Well, the thing is, Mysterio sets the drones to full power,
yeah.
but the...
Edith is like, he's like, why aren't you firing? Because you're in the dead zone.
Yeah. So it's implied that that one of the drones hits him.
Yeah. So he's there, lying there dying, and Peter's like, it's now time for my superhero monologue.
Yeah. And I can't remember what the monologue was, but Mysterio pretends like, You were right. I'm not worthy of this. And he gives back the glass.
And another one shows up right next to him with a gun.
Yeah, but Peter's like, and the gun misses obviously because he grabs his arm.
Yeah.
But it is still basically implied that he did get shot by one of those drones.
So he's lying there dying, and Peter's like, "You hurt me. You lied to me. Why did you do it?" He's like, "Trust me. People are willing to believe anything nowadays." Which will come back to bite Peter.
And we will also come back to twice.
After these messages.
There are no messages. I'm just referencing you now. I watched that video. I got that reference. But anyway, yeah, we...
basically, Mysterio dies.
Yeah, they...
and Peter... Yeah, Peter.
we didn't address that Hogan and Flash Thompson...
Ned, MJ, and Ned's girlfriend.
Yeah, all hide out in the Crown Room vault.
Running away from drones who are trying to kill them.
And one of them is holding a halberd, and MJ has a mace.
Yeah. And Happy Hogan's like, "Give me that spear."
And it's like, it's a halberd.
Immediately, that's what I said too. I'm like, "It's a halberd." Even Ned's like, "It's a halberd." Because an halberd has the spike on the top, and axe has the spike in the back.
Yeah.
That's a slight difference between axe and a halberd.
Yeah.
And the more you know.
The more you know. But yeah.
So Mysterio's defeated, and Peter goes back to MJ.
But we also get a shot of Mysterio's second in command, who used to work for Obadiah, downloading something on his laptop and then pulling out a flash drive, Chekhov's flash drive.
Which will actually come back after the credits.
Yeah.
It's like, let's roll the credits now.
No, but
okay, credits over.
Yeah, but
So Peter and MJ have an emotional moment.
Yeah, where she reveals that
Happy gave her the necklace or whatever it was.
Yeah, the glass flower thing.
Yeah, it was broke.
But she's like, I like it better broken, because she's like totally edgy emo. she likes, and all throughout the movie she's talking about like, oh yeah, this bridge, they used to, execute people by dropping them in cages into the river. She's like very macabre.
Yeah, because the flower kind of reflects her personality.
Yeah.
And they have awkward romance where MJ kisses Peter.
Yeah. And you kissed me.
It's not, it's awkward, but it worked. It doesn't feel forced. It's like, it's not stereotypical awkward.
Yeah.
It's just like, these two awkward teenagers love each other, and they have a hard time admitting it. Even MJ's like, I have a hard time of getting close to people.
And they didn't do, you look taller than normal. I crouch. Don't. That was from the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie.
They talk a bit, and they're like, I like you. I like you. They go back and forth, and then they just keep kissing.
Yeah. But
they kiss, and then they start making out.
And then they have
and they're like, and she's like, oh, I gotta go back to class.
But just mace, just in case.
Yeah. Here, you might need this. Because we didn't mention, but after Mysterio finds out, he basically got Peter removed from the tour, from the vacation, by basically saying, oh, he's visiting his relatives in Germany, kind of thing. So he's like not with them anymore, so he can go away. And then
we also have to address that as the moment that Peter gets the Edith glasses back, he's call off all the drones, and it's like, you sure you wish to execute this? Yes, execute.
Yeah. So the next scene is them basically at the airport. I can't remember if it was like them back in America. They landed in Newark, New Jersey, because they had to be that specific. They were that specific the whole time, telling you where they were. So had a little bit of a funny dialogue. Aunt May sees him. He's like,
where are your bags? Oh, right, yeah, they got
blown up. Flash Thompson meets his butler and he's like, is Mom not able to show up? The butler's like, I don't know if they're insinuating his mom's dead or what, because they didn't really follow up with that at all. But also, Ned and his girlfriend broke up, as I said they would, because summer fling. It's like, people grow apart, but the memories they have last forever. And she's like, oh, Ned, you're so deep. So they part ways. Because at the beginning, before Ned got in a relationship, their plan was, we're going to be bachelors in Italy. Because Europeans love Americans.
Yeah. Well, I know they love Canadians.
Hey.
They might have loved Americans before a certain...
Before a certain young goose. Oh, what was it?
Gumshoes.
Gumshoes, yes.
A certain living Cheeto.
But then, basically, Peter sets up a double date between... Oh, he tries to set up a double date between him, MJ, and Ned, which is why we find out Ned broke up. Ned and his girlfriend broke up because Peter tried to set up a double date.
Yeah.
But then they... Basically, more romantic stuff between him and MJ, where they set up basically a date where he swings her through the city.
Well, I need to bring something up. It's not directly relevant to this movie, but I just realized this is the second MCU movie where the final battle takes place in London. Thor: The Dark World did that. I just realized that, holy crap, London has to clean up after 2 superhero battles.
Even Mysterio's like, oh, I might kill half the people, but it's London, they can rebuild.
You might have been referencing to the fact that they did.
Yeah.
After Thor: The Dark World. Oh, and then the blip.
Yeah.
That happened too.
So Peter's...
and then New York had to rebuild after the Hulk movie and the battle
and the Avengers movie.
Yeah, and then the whole reason why the Sokovia Accords were put into place, and you know.
But Peter swings MJ through through New York as Spider-Man. Obviously, she's scared because she's like holding on, like
yeah.
She's like Death's on
He
there.
couldn't even make a harness or something for a web harness to.
Nope. He just assumed she wouldn't let go. Oh, he even flung her in the air at one point and caught her.
Yeah.
In like a far away scene, far away from the camera,
Yeah.
but he puts her down. She's like, okay, never again.
And then we get the incredibly silly credits.
Well, we get. Oh, was the reveal after the credits? Yes, it was.
After the mid credits, yes.
So we get the mid credits.
They're incredibly silly mid credits that
turns out. You wanted to talk about this?
Not yet. Mid credit scene first. Mid credit scene first. We need to address that first.
Oh, I thought the.
No, you got them backwards.
Okay.
Well, we get this. Really
So we look. So on a billboard, as Peter's about to swing away, it shows plot convenience news.
Brought to you by
the Daily Bugle
and J. Jonah Jameson. They brought back J.K. Simmons for this role. I was like, yes.
Which if they show edited footage of Spidey's fight with Mysterio, where Mysterio says that Spider-Man killed him.
Yeah.
And he revealed his identity.
Yeah.
And he said that Peter was going to execute everyone by taking that audio and manipulating it to sound like that.
Yeah, that he was basically that he was going to be the new Iron Man, no one else, and he was going to kill anyone who disagreed.
And all we get is a shock. We got shocked town. We got shocked city of New York. MJ looking like, oh, and Spider-Man going, oh my, what the. Inside his mask, like his hands on his face, like what the?
Which is actually like sort of a parallel to the end of the first Spider-Man movie when Aunt May figured it out, and she
yeah.
did that.
She's like,
what the fuck? And a reference to the end of Infinity War when Nick Fury is being dusted as goes, mother fuck.
And speaking of that,
End credit scene. Skrulls.
Nick Fury and Maria Hill have been Skrulls. The whole time, possibly.
Yeah. Definitely all throughout this movie, they basically just explain that, you know, like the Skrull. I think it's actually the Skrull from Captain Marvel.
Yes.
He had the accent and everything. Oh, it was really embarrassing, you know. Like I'm a shapeshifter. And I can't believe you fooled me, you know.
And it turns out Nick Fury has been on the spaceship from Captain Marvel the whole time.
So this raises a lot of questions. The biggest one being, how many times throughout the MCU was Nick Fury or a Skrull? Was he a Skrull every single time? Or was it just some of the time? Was it just in that one movie? What was the earlier in the movie, the Skrull Nick Fury said that he got blipped and therefore he woke up 5 years later not knowing anything. Was that just the Skrull Nick Fury? Were the Skrulls working as part of S.H.I.E.L.D. the whole time and back and forth switching, you know, basically being Nick Fury's, you know, doppelganger or you know, like decoy?
Who else has been a Skrull?
Yeah. Or
maybe Iron Man was a Skrull.
That I'm less inclined to believe, but
true. I hope they wouldn't go there.
No, but one thing I do want to ask. At the end of the first Iron Man movie with the end credit scene and Nick Fury telling him about the Avengers Initiative, was that Nick Fury or was that the Skrull? Every single time Nick Fury has been in the MCU, now you have to looking back and wait, was that really Nick Fury or was that the Skrull?
The fact
Maria Hill too.
Yeah. The fact when Spider-Man early movie was like, where are the other heroes? Where's Captain Marvel? The Skrull's like, don't you ever say her name.
Yeah. We also get an offhanded, well, I mean, Thor not being available is understandable.
Yeah, he's
off-world. Yeah, because, you know, as Guardians of the Galaxy. We saw that.
Doctor Strange.
But they say Doctor Strange is unavailable. Why would he be unavailable?
But don't they have other heroes? Where's the Hulk? Where's Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Where's Rhodey and Pepper and everyone?
Black Panther.
I like Mysterio's line.
Which makes me think they didn't want to contact them because they were Skrulls and they knew that Peter Parker was the only one who probably wouldn't have figured that out. And that they couldn't, like, especially if they got in contact with Doctor Strange might not want to talk to them because he'd be like, he would have figured out right away because he's fucking Doctor Strange.
Which raises the potential of secret invasion.
Yeah. Oh, and there's also something, like, on the space station, we didn't get a good look at it. We didn't figure out what it was. But we're gonna research this. Nick Fury was looking at something through a viewport, and it was something important.
He was basically on vacation in a simulation of the tropics or somewhere, in basically a Hawaiian shirt, shorts, long socks. It's like,
well, no socks. No, he was barefoot. Like, and he even said, "Can somebody get my shoes? Where's my super shoes?"
But yeah, I like it. It just raises too many questions.
Too many Skrulls.
So we've been rambling for a long time.
Yeah. So
final thoughts. I think it made me remember why I love Spider-Man to begin with. Like, it brought so many good elements of him.
Much like Spider-Verse did.
Yeah. Like, it showed him being awkward and emotional. It showed him being nerdy, but it was all like it all fit a teenager. Like it felt natural, and like it made me remember why Spider-Man was one of my favorite heroes when I was growing up. Like just that awkward kind of relatability. Like young people can relate to that. Like
I mean, like we grew up with the Sam Raimi movies, and before that the 90s cartoon, and I even used to watch the 60s cartoon reruns of that. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can.
You!
Stop pointing! You're pointing at this, pointing at me! You're pointing at you! Boom. You're a scroll! You're a scroll! You're a scroll! You're a scroll!
That should be a meme.
Yeah,
that's not already. We have to make that meme.
Yeah. We like Photoshop a scroll face on you're a scroll! You're a scroll!
Everyone's a scroll. Old MacDonald had a scroll. E-I-E-I-O. Here a scroll, there a scroll, everywhere a scroll. Oh, I already did that line.
Yeah, but have an ace keeping up your sleeve.
I'm that word collector.
Scrolls! Are you ever not going to fall for that?
Good. Watch the movie.
Bye.